Good morning, Facebook and podcast listeners. It's early today. It's 7:47 in the morning on this Friday morning, June 24th. We're just gonna get right into things today on this finally Friday. I'm Se Kwon, by the way. Okay, today is kind of the day that a lot of parents, or maybe some of you, have been waiting for, at least in Fargo, because today kids here can get their COVID vaccine, their first one. And this is for kids in that 6 months to 4-year-old age group, because this is the vaccine. This is the last age group that's able to get these vaccines. So we had our first news reporter, Jenna Scott, out live for us this morning, and she was telling us that those kids in that age group can come to Sanford in Fargo at any of its primary care locations. And then we also took a look at Grand Forks as well. In Grand Forks, you will have to wait until Tuesday because that's when you can make those appointments to get your kids vaccinated. But in Moorhead, we checked on that this morning too, and they still do not have any of these kids' doses yet. Sanford does prefer that you make appointments. You can do that on their website, or you can just call them. And yeah, we'll remind you about the Grand Forks stuff once they get all of those doses and they're ready. So we'll remind you on Tuesday. But yeah, we'll stay on top of Clay County too, and the vaccines that they get as well. So wanted to let you know about that. If you're hoping to get your kids protected and yeah, against COVID, then you can head out to Sanford and Fargo today. Okay, today we're also expecting an update from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms on that Harwood church fire. So we know that the ATF right now is investigating that fire as arson. And this all happened on last Friday morning, at the Maple Cheyenne Lutheran Church. The Cass County Sheriff's Office says that it looked like someone tried to start that fire multiple times, which caused damage to the floor and then also the siding of the church. We're not sure what kind of update we're expecting in this investigation, but we'll of course have that update for you, and you can catch that in our evening newscasts. We also know that a search team is going to be back out on the Red River today in Grand Forks, East Grand Forks area, as today does mark their third day, looking for this man who they think drowned in the river. So we don't know the name of the person that they're looking for, but we do know that he's 22 years old, and he is from Hennepin County, Minnesota, so Minneapolis area. He jumped into the river on Wednesday afternoon after he was asked to leave this senior center because police say that he was drunk and he was out of control, is what they said. So they were even police at least were even using 5 boats with sonar equipment, but they still have not been able to find him. And they also told us that the search has been a little bit more difficult because of the heat. Of course, we know, goodness, how hot it has been lately, especially with that muggy stickiness in the air, and then also the river conditions as well. So we know that the search is a lot harder on these guys, and we also found out that there's supposed to be this weekend fishing tournament on the Red. It's that Shields Boundary Battle. That's limited to 50 boats this year, and we're trying to see and figure out if that tournament is going to get canceled because of the search or whatnot. But as far as the tournament's website and its Facebook page says, it's on for right now. So we'll let you know if that changes. We'll keep a close eye on that for you. Also today, drivers, listen up. We have more closures to tell you about. It's not funny. I know how stressful it can be. But I wanted to let you know part of I-29 in Fargo is going to be closed down for construction. It shouldn't affect you though, unless you're out and about super late, or maybe you work the graveyard shift, I'm not sure. But that's going to be closed down starting at 9 o'clock tonight. So it's an overnight project, and all lanes of traffic are going to be closed on I-29 near the area of the 64th Avenue Bridge project. That's a project that crews are still working on, and that's why they're closing it. But that should be open at around 5 tomorrow morning. So it's going to be closed again from 9 p.m. tonight to 5 tomorrow morning. So an overnight closure. But then in Grand Forks, more closures to talk about. The gravel parts of 27th Avenue North is going to be closed. So if you're not familiar with where that is, it's right by the airport and the wastewater treatment plant. Crews are going to be doing some fixing up, and they're going to be fixing some damage that we know was caused by frost and some heavy rainfall. That will stay closed until further notice, so we will let you know once that is open back up. Okay, we also know North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is requesting a presidential disaster declaration after the spring storms and the flooding that we saw here. So what that would do is it would cover 40 of the state's 53 counties. Cass is not included in that declaration. Grand Forks, Richland, you are. So what he's hoping to do is cover $57 million in damages from those storms. And if you don't remember, that's when, you know, we got winter storms in like late April to late May, freezing rain, downpours, flooding. We kind of had all of it, all of the elements in one month, basically. 10,000 people also lost power. I remember covering that extensively on First News, and that was a really big deal. And they were without power for a really long time. I want to say close to 2 weeks. So if that request is approved, that would unlock, you know, some FEMA help for these cities and counties and townships to recover and pay for the damages. So I wanted to let you know about that, and we'll let you know if that request gets approved. Also, we wanted to let you know, if you know someone who might have just moved to North Dakota, maybe, it's really neat. There's a new North Dakota workforce initiative, and there's a new website, basically, for people who are looking for jobs. And this primarily, again, relates to people who just moved to North Dakota, who might not really be familiar with the state. But yeah, this talent attraction agency teamed up with the State Department of Commerce to create what's called Find the Good Life. And that's literally their website, is findthegoodlife.com. So I'll repeat that again later. But again, this is really to help these people just move to the state, find some job opportunities, help connect these people to potential employers, give a good idea about, you know, what North Dakota has to offer here in terms of job opportunities. So again, if you're interested, or maybe if you have a friend, or you just met someone who moved here, tell them to go on findthegoodlife.com. Really neat. Okay, talking more on a national scope of things, Moderna, its COVID vaccine is on its way to get some authorization for more kids. So the vaccine advisors at the CDC did vote unanimously to recommend authorizing it for people ages 6 to 17. That age group is kind of a gap for Moderna, we know. And right now, only Pfizer's vaccine is the one that's been authorized for that group. So we also know that the CDC is not taking up that issue of booster shots for this age group, but does have plans to do that later this summer. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. And also, really sad, but today does mark 1 year since the deadly condo collapse that happened in Surfside, Florida, killing 100 people. I remember this, and as I'm sure many of you do too. It's been really tough, but we know that these families of the victims here is going to be getting some financial relief. That's because a federal judge in Florida did approve a nearly $1 billion settlement between those families and then about 40 businesses that actually ran that entire facility, as in the condo. About half of that is going to be paid for by the security contractor with that building, but that company is saying they're not responsible for the condo collapse. So, wanted to give you an update. Families of those victims are waking up with some relief, emphasis on the some, this morning. Okay, sorry, I should have done this better when it comes to organizing how my stories are looking for today, but we're gonna go back to what's happening in our area today. Some of the best amateur golfers in our region is going to be starting a 3-day tournament, and we are going to have coverage of that for you, which I'll get to in just a second. But it is the Red River Amateur Tournament. I'm sure many of you guys living in this area know what that is, but more than 100 golfers competing in men's, women's, seniors divisions. They're going to be playing for different trophies this weekend. And that's all going to be happening at the Moorhead Country Club. Like I said just a few minutes ago, WDAY is going to be there, and we're going to have first round coverage at noon today. That's going to be on WDAY Extra, and that'll go until 3 today. Second and third rounds start on Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday. That's going to start at noon and go until 5, and you can also find that on the X. All right, now I think we're hopping back to national here. I kind of have like a little agenda that helps me here. Okay, we also know the White House agreed to cancel around $6 billion in federal student loan debt. This is really big news for about 200,000 people who have been asking this for a really long time. But this isn't for everybody. This is specifically only for the people who claim that they were defrauded by their college for things like, you know, inflated job placement rates, or the ability to transfer credits if they, you know, went to a different college for a little bit. Those claims are usually handled by the Department of Education, but processing did stall during the Trump administration, which led to a lawsuit in 2019. So, yeah, the deal to wipe this away, at least the student loan debt, for these borrowers, is part of a proposed settlement agreement that was filed in federal court. It still needs to be approved by a judge, but if it does get approved, another 64,000 people who already filed a claim would also be eligible for that relief. So wanted to push that out there. If you have kids who are in college, maybe you're a college student watching this might be beneficial for you. Okay, we also know today, really big day, House is expected to vote this morning on a bipartisan gun bill, which was passed late last night by the Senate. The Senate voted 65 to 35 to pass this $13 billion measure. If you're not familiar, that's going to include stricter background checks for people who are trying to buy guns and who are under the age of 21. It's going to ban people who have a history of domestic violence to buy guns. And then finally, it's also going to provide some mental health resources and then federal funding for violence prevention programs, school security, of course, mental health resources as well. So wanted to let you know about that. Lots of things happening today, both on Capitol Hill and here in our region. So wanted to pass that along to you. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra and inforum.com. Dom is back today. I think his dad is here. I'm not sure. But yeah, Dom is back today, and it should be a great time. Dom always has really good guests on. You guys already know that, though. You guys don't need to hear it from me. So make sure you go join him. Again, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, inforum.com. All right, and of course, you can always stay connected to our local community just by going to inforum.com/subscribe. When you type that in, you can sign up to get your first 3 months of unlimited access to our website and everything else that it has to offer for just 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. So I like to call it a steal of a deal. I've kind of called it that ever since this has been happening. Again, I like to say this too because I don't know how long this offer will last. So don't get mad at me if you're like, oh my gosh, I tried doing this and it didn't work, say. You told me the wrong thing. Well, I'm telling you now, I'm trying to push it out to you so you get the memo. Basically, the point is just take advantage of it while you can. All right, everybody. As most of you guys are probably heading to work, you guys should know your drive home might be a little bit rocky depending on where you are. Our storm tracker meteorologist, Lydia Bloom, was telling us that severe storms are on the way. The severe risk has even been upgraded. So definitely a great day to download our Storm Tracker weather app, which you can download for free and wherever you get your apps. And just be on the lookout, be extra cautious, and be weather aware today. Very important. And yeah, I wanted to let you know about that. We have newscasts 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 on this Friday. And then we also have First News tomorrow and Sunday morning. Tomorrow is 7 to 8:30 and First News Sunday is 7 to 8. So make sure you join us, and we'll see you back here Monday morning from 5 to 7. All right, everybody, have a good day, stay safe, and have a great weekend.